Greetings, this is Dave with Ham Radio Test and Review. My call sign is N8DAV, and my motto for my channel is one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. And I live in Flagstaff, Arizona. As you can see, it's beautiful. Oh, what did I show you? This is what we're testing today. It is the two-way radio FP-761 dual band blue antenna with a yellow stripe. Wow, yellow band. All right, be back in just a second with all the specifications. So here's the packaging that it comes in. And, you know, this is very interesting because I got it. I'm sure it had been sold before because this little flap here had been cut open and I got it with it like that. And I decided not to return it because, you know, it was only 10 bucks and I wanted the blue antenna. So I just wanted to see how well or how bad it did. Anyway, this is one of those cardboard packages with a plastic, hard plastic covering. So the fact that they cut it open at the bottom and slid it out and then put it back in and returned it, I'm sure that's what happened. So anyway, oops, let's see, let's do it this way. Maybe it'll work better. Maybe you can read it better. Anyway, it's TWYRDIO, but it's pronounced two-way radio. So anyway, this is the packaging, and this is the antenna. And I think this is pretty cool looking. But if it doesn't work, I'm going to give it away. So anyway, be back in a minute with the specification. And we'll see how it really works, all right? All right, be right back with all the testing. All right, first up is the power SWR meter test. And this is for the two-way radio FP-761 dual band blue antenna. Here we go on the 2-meter band. And we get an SWR of 1.30. Next up, we're doing the test of the two-way radio FP-761 dual band antenna on the 70 centimeter band. You get an SWR of 1.45. And for all of our GMRS fans out there, I'm going to test the antenna on GMRS channel 16. We get an SWR of 1.29. And as I always do, I always run the NanoVNA antenna analyzer on the antenna on each band just to verify the results I get with the power SWR meter. So when I turn this on, it's going to default to the 2-meter band. Okay, and at 146.520, we have an SWR of 1.685 and an impedance of 54.42. Next up, we're going to test the two-way radio FP-761 dual band antenna on the 70 centimeter band. All right, and at 446, we have an SWR of 1.857 and an impedance of 45.17. And like I always do for our GMRS fans out there, we're going to test this on the GMRS frequencies. And we have SWR of 2.077 and an impedance of 28.16. I must remind you, though, that this antenna is not rated for GMRS, so I'm not expecting great numbers on it, but so far, I can't really complain. Be right back. All right, now up is the field strength test. What I do is I run the same radio at the same high power at the same distance using nothing different except for the antennas. So this is a prescribed test that is done exactly the same way every single time. So when I go back with the results, I can compare them to other antennas that were tested exactly the same way. So this is the 2-meter test. And when I'm done with all the field strength testing, I'll get back to you and give you all the results at the end of the video. All right, next up is the field strength meter test on the 70 centimeter band with the two-way radio FP-761 blue antenna. And last but not least is the field strength test using GMRS channel 16 for all of my GMRS bands out there. All right, I'm back here at my favorite park, Fox Glen Park in Flagstaff, Arizona. And as you can see and hear, there's a lot of wind. So, you might see the camera going, anyway. I'm here at Fox Glen Park. I'm here to test out this nice blue antenna. This is the two-way radio FP-761 antenna with the gold stripe there. And by the way, it's just a label. It says something on it. I think it says dual band. It's got the frequencies on there and all that kind of junk. So anyway, so I'm out here to test. So let me turn this on.
Channel mode.
And let me see if this is going to work. WSBX 662, testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
WSBX 662, testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's see if I can get it without some wind noise. So I'll wait for the wind to die down a little bit. I'll tell you, this is about 2.8 miles, probably between 2.8 and 3.0 miles from the repeater. I have a pretty well line of sight, though there is some forest and some trees between my base station antenna and the park out here. But I don't think I have any buildings or roads or freeways or anything like that. So, okay, let me try it again. WSBX 662, testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
WSBX 662, testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, I can tell there was some static in on this, so, but not as bad as some. I mean, I'm actually surprised how good this actually sounded, so especially without the wind noise. All right, so next time you see me, I'll be back on my deck, probably out in the sun a little bit, enjoying having the sun on my skin, and I'll let you know how this antenna did. And we'll go through all the specifications and all the test results. All right, be right back. What did we learn about this antenna with all the testing that we did? First of all, we learned that it's blue with a kind of a yellowish goldish stripe, which is just a label that says high gain antenna and the frequencies that it covers. And, oh, it's got a black tip too. All right. First of all, I'm going to tell you something that you didn't know, and that is it's no longer available on Amazon. So sorry about that. But if you can find it, you might be able to find it on AliExpress or Temu or one of those other places, maybe even eBay. I mean, you never know. I did give you the model number and the manufacturer, so maybe you can find it out on one of those places. And if you do, let me know. Put it in the comments. Let everybody else know where they might be able to find it. So I have to tell you, the SWR that we got here actually was pretty darn good. I was very surprised to see the SWR this good on all the frequencies, all the bands, considering how often this thing was returned. It was one of those things where it was one of the Amazon said this is a often returned item, and I thought, well, okay, for $10 I'll be a big spender, and that way I have a blue antenna. But here's the thing. It had good SWR, 1.3 on 2 meter, 1.45 on 70 centimeter, and 1.29 or 1.3 on GMRS. That's pretty darn good. And with the NanoVNA, we got 1.685, 1.857, and 2.077. Gosh, that's even the NanoVNA is saying that it's below 2 easily, and that's pretty darn good for 2 meter and 70 centimeter. Of course, again, this antenna was not meant to be working on GMRS, but guess what? It did pretty good on GMRS. So I'm not, I can't say anything bad about it. Seriously. So what else are we going to say about this? Well, on the field strength test now, the field strength test told a little different story. On this particular antenna, we got a -2 dBi on the 2-meter band. I'm sorry, a -7.2 dBi. Now, a -7.2 is not so great because on the worst antenna, we got a -5.9. Not so great. Yeah, on the 2-meter band, it wasn't so hot. Yet on the 70 centimeter band, it did pretty well average. We've been getting about -1.5 average, and it was a -1.2. Now on GMRS, once again, not so great. It was a -5.2. So yeah, even though we got good SWR, the strength of the signal at the using the field strength meter, not so great. But how does that turn out in real world testing when I took it over to Fox Glen Park and did a real world test at 2.8 miles? We got some static. I mean, not just a little static. We got some static. I mean, more than we probably should have, but not quite as much as the worst antenna that I've tested. So I would say if you're looking for a shorter antenna and one that's blue, I say go ahead and get it, man. I mean, it's not a bad antenna. It's just not a great antenna. All right. So, that's just how it is. The testing bears out everything. Just because you have a good SWR doesn't mean that a compromised antenna is going to work better or work really well for you. Turns out when you get shorter, you don't perform as well. And that works out in all kinds of things. I'll let you figure that one out. So, with that, I'm going to say, this is Dave with Ham Radio Test and Review. I live in Flagstaff, Arizona. The motto is, one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. And we certainly saw that today when we had great SWR and not so great signal strength. Bears out all the testing tells everything. So I would say, have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. And saying 73 and so long.